Did you know that sunlight has a whole host of benefits? All right. If you didn't know, don't worry, just stick around and you'll learn so much about sunlight and many other things in this segment. All right. Thank you for joining me again. I'll be exploring sunlight, and sunlight is one of the 8 ways in which we can um, incorporate in our daily lives to help us to have a healthier, happier, and more meaningful life. Right? So there are basically 8 laws that help us to do this, namely nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, air, trust, temperance, and rest. And today I'll be looking at sunlight. All right. So, how does sunlight help me to have a healthier, happier life? So, sunlight is a fundamental engine for life on Earth. It drives photosynthesis, which produces the oxygen we breathe and the base of the global food chain. For humans, safe, moderate sun exposure is vital. And we're going to explore below to find out why is this so. Right. What are the benefits of sunlight? Sunlight triggers the brain to release serotonin, also called the happy hormone, associated with mood elevation. When it comes down to focus and calmness, as well as promotes a sense of well-being and plays a vital role in regulating sleep, appetite, and digestion. Sunlight also enables the photosynthesis. That's vitamin D. Vitamin D synthesis. That where it regulates sleep cycles and boosts our mood. So when sunlight touches our skin, vitamin D is now synthesized in our bodies, right? And as I heard person say, the sun is our vitamin D is our vitamin D source. The sun is where we get our vitamin D from. All right. So now, other benefits of vitamin D that we get from the sun are other benefits that sunlight really gives to us. It alleviates depression. And how is this so? Regular exposure to the sunlight can reduce symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, that's SAD in other words, and other forms of depression. It also reduces stress. So sunshine helps lower stress levels by triggering the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Also, sunlight offers physical health benefits, right? As I mentioned before, when it touches our skin, right? When it touches our skin, it basically synthesizes vitamin D, yeah, which is critical for bone health, immune function, and muscle regulation, right? Also, it strengthens our bones. Yes, so sunlight strengthens our bones by aiding calcium absorption. Sunlight helps prevent conditions like osteoporosis, rickets, and osteomalacia. It lowers our blood pressure. Yeah. So exposure to UV rays stimulates the release of nitric oxide from the sun, which dilates blood vessels and can lower blood pressure. Also, it offers immune system support. So regular sun exposure may increase white blood cell counts and help to fight infections in our bodies. Also, sunlight helps with sleep and energy. But how does sunlight help me to sleep at night? It regulates our circadian rhythm. And what is circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm is our body's internal clock, right? So when It is aligned, right? Because of sunlight, it leads to better daytime alertness and improved sleep quality at night by regulating melatonin, right? And melatonin is the body's main sleep hormone. Also, it increases energy. So, sunlight signals the brain to be alert and boosts mitochondrial function, thus providing more sustainable energy throughout the day. Yes. Did you know that sunlight offers us therapeutic use benefits? Yeah, as in our skins. So sunlight help with conditions like cirrhosis, eczema, acne, and vitiligo. Yes, or vitiligo, as persons may pronounce it. Also, jaundice treatment. Sunlight is very beneficial when it comes down to persons who have uh, babies that are newborn, right? Has jaundice in the eyes. The eyes might be turning yellow. Eyes might be yellow. Skin might be pale. Sunlight, early morning sunlight is very beneficial, right? For those babies. Jaundice treatment. Who should take precaution before exposing themselves to the sun? Although sunlight is a good thing, has so many benefits like elevate our mood, help us to focus, help us to keep calm, provide us with vitamin D, all of these good stuff. You have to be very mindful because at times when things are very good and we do too much of it, we overdo it, it can become harmful. So persons that have high blood pressure should go in the sun during the early morning. Yes, you can still benefit from sun, but you ensure that you get your local sun bath before 10 a.m. Right? Yes. Come out right before it gets hot. And after 4 p.m. to avoid peak heat and severe UV radiation. So while moderate sunlight can temporarily lower blood pressure by releasing nitric oxide into the bloodstream, prolonged exposure to midday heat can cause dangerous blood pressure fluctuations. Alright, so persons who bleach their skins, right, should also take precautions because skin bleaching leaves the skin highly vulnerable to the sun for two primary reasons. One, the removal, when you bleach your skin, it removes the natural UV sun protection, right? That is removed, right? And also, when the skin is bleached, it becomes very thin, right? Also, bleaching products reduce the skin's natural melanin. And what is melanin? Melanin is the natural sunscreen that God placed in our skin. So we bleach and rub it out, we are actually destroying that melanin, right? And that melanin is what protects us against the sun. So melanin helps absorb harmful rays from the sun when it is removed. When it is removed, the skin becomes more exposed to sun damage. And this can lead to faster burning, rapid aging, permanent skin damage, deep skin damage, and a higher risk of skin cancer. So when is the best time to go in the sun? Early morning sun, that is 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. is very good, right? Yes, that time is very good. And how long do you stay in the sun? Spend 10 to 15 minutes outside, right? 10 to 15 minutes in the sun, in the early morning sun. Or if it is on a cloudy day where the sun is so bright, you can spend up to 30 minutes, right? Aim for direct sunlight on your face and forearms without sunglasses. But do not stare directly at the sun. It can damage your eyes. So, if you want to feel more awake during the day and sleep better at night, you really need early morning light. Yes. Why does it work? Morning sunlight enters your eyes and triggers the brain to produce serotonin. And serotonin is a mood boosting hormone and sets your internal circadian clock. And this ensures that your body naturally releases melatonin, the sleep hormone, earlier that evening. Yes. All right. If you're not getting enough sunlight for various reasons. You live in an area where there are long winters. You have a job where you go in early in the morning before the sun rises, or you get off work late after the sun sets. How am I able to utilize the good benefits of the sun? What can I know implement in my life to benefit from these nutrients that I should be getting from the sun, right? So a chronic or before I even get to that, I'm not going there yet. There are many different ways in which we can add food to our diet and supplements to our diet. But guess what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened if you're not getting enough sunlight. Let me go there first. So persons who don't really utilize the sun will be more interested now. Alright? So a chronic lack of sunlight causes a systematic breakdown in your health, primarily resulting in weakened bones, severe sleep disruptions, chronic fatigue, meaning you just feel tired all the time. Although you go to bed early, but you just wake up tired. And a depressed mood, right? So because the human biology evolved to rely on solar energy, because God is so good, He made us. He made the sun and He make nature. If He can't work with everything just work, on one accord, right? So He made the sun and He made us, so we can benefit from the sun. And also, right, because human biology evolved to rely on solar energy, starving the body of natural light triggers a chain reaction of negative physical and mental health issues. So because our body was built, and we were built to benefit from the sun. So when we decide, say, oh, we're not going to the sun because we'll get sunburn, we're actually getting nutrients from the sun. And we abstain, we decide to stay away, because problem, negative problem, mental problem, as in your physical health is affected negatively, your mental health is affected negatively. Yes. Your bones become weak, right? So your skin requires UVB rays from the sun to synthesize vitamin D, which is mandatory for calcium absorption. Without it, bone density drops, meaning your bone get weak. Adult osteomalacia is one of the conditions you can develop because of not getting vitamin D. So severe deficiency, it's a condition where severe deficiency causes a painful softening of the bones, resulting in deep bone pain, lower back pain, and chronic muscle cramp. Yeah. Also, childhood rickets. So children lacking sunlight can develop rickets, a disease that softens and physically bends growing bones. So allow them to go play football. Yes. Also, I go play in the park in the morning. They don't have school. Also, sleep disorders and chronic fatigue. Without bright morning sunlight hitting your eyes, your circadian rhythm, which is your internal biological clock, becomes completely misaligned. Right? And what occurs as a result of your circadian rhythm being misaligned? Insomnia. So your brain now fails to recognize when it is night, delaying the release of melatonin and making it incredibly difficult to drop out. You can't fall asleep because your mind can't really, your brain really recognize, say, a night, right? Because guess what? The chemical that is supposed to be released to send those signals to your brain has been delayed because you're not getting enough sunlight. Also, daytime drowsiness. A lack of natural light reduces daytime cortisol and serotonin levels. And what are those responsible for? Those know when you're not really um I get those cortisol and serotonin levels are when them drop. What happened as a result? You feel constantly exhausted, heavy, sluggish, regardless of how long you slept. Yes. And also, you're in a depressive mood. Sunlight directly stimulates the brain to produce serotonin. So the hormone responsible for feelings of calm, focus, and happiness. Right? Also, you're not getting sunlight, so you're not feel happy, you're not calm, you're not focused. Clinical depression. A lack of sunlight can plunge your serotonin levels, bring it down, which is a happy hormone, making you highly susceptible to anxiety and depressive episode. Also, seasonal affective disorder. So this is a specific type of clinical depression, right? And terms as SAD, SAD. So it's a seasonal affective disorder. And this happens over time when you have like winter, no sun, cold, dark. Yes. Right? So they happen more frequently in those period of time. And what is this basically? How does you persons react that has this? Low energy, oversleeping, and social withdrawal. They tend to want to stay by themselves, to lock away. Alright? So also it affects our whole immune system. So poor immune function and slow healing as a result of not getting vitamin D. So vitamin D acts as a direct regulator for our immune cells. Frequent illnesses. So when deprived of the sun, your immune system struggles to produce the proteins needed to fight off pathogens, causing you to catch respiratory infections, colds, and the flu, much more frequently. So you ever have cold, you ever have flu, you ever have chest congestion. Also, if you get like cut, bruises, and surgical wounds, right, these take a long time to get better. Without the nutrient that you're getting from the sun, it take much more a lengthier time. Alright? Higher cardiovascular and long-term risk. So emerging research from institutions like the University of Florida suggests that, yes, sunlight deficiency carries severe long-term cardiovascular risk. Alright, watch this. High blood pressure. Sunlight triggers your skin cells to release nitric oxide, right? Which dilates blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. Without it, blood vessels become stiffer, increasing the risk of hypertension, strokes, and heart attacks. Metabolic slowdown. So a lack of UV exposure alters the genes regulating metabolism and inflammation, which can contribute to unexpected weight gain, insulin resistance, and obesity. So now, as I've mentioned before, what are the other options if I can't get enough sunlight or I'm not able to access the sun? You know, what are my options? All right. Foods and supplements. So people who are getting minimal sunlight can add these to their diets. Fatty fish that are rich in omega-3 such as sardines, trout, salmon, cod liver oil which has vitamin D and both vitamin A. Also you can add egg yolk to your diet, and also mushrooms. So mushrooms are the only plant-based food that can naturally provide you with vitamin D. Yeah. And you know you can also increase, you buy them at the store, you can increase the amount of vitamin D that are in those mushrooms. And how do you do this? You before cooking the mushrooms, what you can do, you put them out in the sun, right, for like 15 minutes. You turn the gill side up, right? And you put them in the sun for like 15 minutes before you cook them. That will increase or enhance the amount of vitamin D that those mushrooms really contain. So it is essential to consume calcium-rich foods alongside vitamin D, because vitamin D acts as the vital key that allows your intestine to actively absorb calcium from your diet, right? So if your vitamin D level is not really up to par, you can't really absorb the calcium from your diet to ensure so you have healthy bone and healthy teeth. You understand what I say? Yeah, you can't. There's a problem, right? So to have strong teeth and healthy bones, you should ensure that you are pairing your vitamin D intake with sufficient calcium-rich foods. And calcium-rich foods are basically like dairy. Or if you don't want the dairy, you can add like cheese, goat milk. If you do not want to go that route, you can opt for you have a vegetarian, where you can do like leafy greens, such as your cabbage, your callaloo, your spinach, your kale, your turnip greens, your beetroot greens. And turnip greens meaning when you harvest your turnip, you don't just cut off the leaves of the turnip and throw them away. You don't just cut off the leaves from the beetroot and discard them. They can be steamed, washed properly, and add to your diet. Also, pigeon peas, otherwise known as gungo peas, these are very rich in calcium, as well as red kidney beans. Yes, very rich, as well as sorrel, otherwise known as hibiscus, and moringa. You know that moringa is abundant in calcium. Yes. And did you know that moringa is especially abundant in calcium more than some of these vegetables like the spinach? Yes. It has been reported that moringa has a higher. So if you don't have access to these vegetables and you have access to moringa, don't worry. You can use moringa as your calcium, right? So when choosing a vitamin D supplement, look for vitamin D3. So if you have to go just the supplement route where you have to use supplement, you don't have access to sunlight, you don't have access to the type of food where you're supposed to, you're eating the food, but you know your level is down, you get tested and the level of vitamin D level is down, supplement it with vitamin D3. So research shows that vitamin D3 is more potent and effectively raises your blood levels of vitamin D for a longer period of time. And remember, vitamin D3 is fat soluble, meaning a vitamin for vitamin D3 to work, right? You have to ensure that you include in your diet foods that are rich in healthy fats, right? Because meaning fat soluble, it meaning that vitamin now dissolve in fats and oils, right? So you have to include healthy fat now for the vitamin D3 can work in harmony with, you understand, in your body. You can actually dissolve, or your body can actually use it in the correct way. Meaning, because you have some vitamins are water soluble and some are fat soluble. So vitamin D3 now is the oil soluble vitamin, right? So now when you can pair in your diet, in your meal, you want some option with healthy fats, and you don't really know what fat's really healthy because you say fat bad, right? So some are the best choices that are healthy that won't work against your body now, like your coconut oil. You prepare your meal, you switch out the other bad item, and you use coconut oil, olive oil, After you're having your meal, you can sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on your meal, right? Yes. And then after your meal, you can take your D3 supplement, right? And also you can include in your diet, like to get that healthy fat, like pumpkin seed, sunflower seed, right? Chia seed, mm-hmm. um, flaxseed, yes, mm-hmm. Yes, and they will help you to have now better gut absorption. Yes, your vitamin D3, when you combine it with these healthy fats, mm-hmm, you'll be absorbed better in your body. All right. Supplements and nutrients that can really maximize the way vitamin D3 work in your body. So yes, you have other supplements that can really work in harmony, right, to ensure that vitamin D3 now is more productive in your body and it benefit your body even more. All right, so you can pair it with K2. Yes, there's actually a vitamin by the name of K2. And how is K2 really beneficial when you pair it with D3? What is the whole purpose? All right, the whole purpose of K2 now is to ensure that calcium is properly directed to your bones, right? Rather than calcifying in your arteries or your blood vessels, right? And this can cause, if you don't pair it with the K2, you're at a risk, because guess what? When calcium is calcified in your arteries and build up in your arteries, this will cause a blockage. It can cause a blockage, right? And this now, our better way to describe it is it can cause plaques to build up, to form, right? These calcium plaques, right? So when these plaques form, I just want to help you to understand the whole concept why K2 is necessary. So I hope I'm really explaining in a way you can understand. So when these plaques form now, right, they can rupture, and rupture now can cause a whole chain reaction in which blood clots, because body realize that there's something wrong, so it can send out blood clot for really go rectify what really are going on. So when this happen now, these blood clot now can end up can lead to heart attack. So the K2 purpose is to ensure none of these not happen. None of the whole calcium or calcifying, right? The calcium calcifying in your arteries or your blood vessels. So it helps the vitamin D3 now to work very efficient. So when the vitamin D3 pull the calcium, it ensures it distributed to the proper places that it's supposed to go. You work in harmony with it. All right. Okay. So it significantly reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, right? And also osteoporosis, which is our bone become weak and brittle and all of that. It helps, our bone to be strengthened. Also, magnesium is very essential. And there are many when you're dealing with vitamin D3, magnesium is very essential, and there are many ways in which you can add magnesium to your diet. If you don't want to supplement with the magnesium type of pill business, or to taking things, food. There are a whole lot of food that contains magnesium, right? And how is magnesium necessary? What's the whole purpose of magnesium in my body? So as it relates to like D3, when I do magnesium again, I thought sunlight would be, with the vitamin D, that would be okay. But magnesium is also vital. Alright, listen to this. Magnesium is essential for your body to properly utilize vitamin D. So although the doctor say your vitamin D level low, you must go supplement from vitamin D3 to build you up and to ensure everything is working in harmony. So you buy this vitamin D3 and you're taking the vitamin D3 and all of that. But guess what? You realize that there's still a problem. You need magnesium, because although you're taking all of this vitamin D, it is useless. It needs without magnesium. Meaning, magnesium now, it really make it active. When magnesium is added, it makes vitamin D becomes active. So meaning it activates the enzymes, right? That your body, to help your body to really metabolize vitamin D. So you read the enzyme then that's supposed to help vitamin D to work. It's like a magnesium have to really make them make them enzymes start to work. So it causes the whole action to start. That is it. So it's very important. Magnesium is very important for your body. Yes. So it transport it, help it to wake up and go do what it's supposed to do. So you put it in your body, it does it dormant because there's no magnesium. Right? Yes. Alright. Magnesium, food that you can eat to get magnesium. Alright. There are many sources. So like for seeds, pumpkin seed again, chia seed again, almond and cashew. And almond also, you get added benefit when you include almond, because almond also has calcium, so you're getting a double whammy there. You're getting calcium from almond as well as magnesium. Yes. And a whole host of food, but I don't really want to go in so in depth. Make a video too long. And also oats. You can add oats. Oats contains magnesium. Quinoa contains magnesium, right? You can switch out quinoa for like white rice, pasta, instead of having those, right? You can why not utilize quinoa? You're getting your magnesium. Avocados, yeah man, both healthy fat. To make the vitamin D3 work. And also magnesium. So you see it working in so many different ways. Very essential for your diet. Yes, man. And also bananas. So bananas has potassium. Although it has potassium, but it has also magnesium. Yes. And also dark chocolate. You can add dark chocolate to your diet to get magnesium. But when you're choosing dark chocolate, ensure that it says, the reader label, ensure that it says 70% or more of cocoa. So it's 70% or higher of cocoa, right? To get your real magnesium, to get your amount that your body you want to get. Just because of dark chocolate. Real labels. Alright? And also black beans. Yes. Black beans. Versatile plant proteins that are heavily loaded with magnesium. Black beans. Lentils. Right? And lentil is easily absorbed in your body. Gives you magnesium. Spinach. Cooked spinach is highly concentrated. So 1 cup give you over 1/3 of your daily goal. Spinach has a lot of magnesium. And last but not least, moringa. Yes, moringa is an excellent and natural source of magnesium. So the nutrient-dense leaves and powder provide this essential mineral which supports muscle function, nerve health, and strong bones. Yeah, man. So, how much of magnesium basically this moringa contains? Guess what? 100 grams of dried moringa powder contains about 368 milligrams of magnesium, providing roughly 87% to, hear this, 126% of your daily recommended intake, depending on the source, right? And guess what? 10-gram serving, a 10-gram serving, which is approximately 1 tablespoon, provides about 49.5 milligram of magnesium. And guess what now? According to the Internal Journal of Food Science, the magnesium found in moringa is bound to the plant's natural matrix, which include organic acid and fibers, rather than being a chemical synthesized supplement like magnesium glycinate. So because of this, it is easily digested alongside other complementary minerals like calcium, which it contains abundantly, and iron, which it also contains abundantly. This is the end of my article or my presentation or whatever you want to call it. This is the end of it. But guess what? The greatest thing, I hope you learn something. I hope you know what you never know. And I hope you start to not just listen, but it's not to know a thing, it's to put it into practice. Yes. Now you know about it. What are you going to do about it? Alright? So remember to just continue to do to others as you would have them do to you. Live good, walk good, love God. Alright. Blessings. Thank you for joining me one more time. Alright.